Gogo Maweni's show is back on television and stuff, and it is the talk of the town, or it is the talk of social media right now. And I thought we go back and watch what was being said. Gogo Maweni, for those that don't know, she is a Sangoma, practicing Sangoma. She practices all these entire voodooisms and whatnot that they do over there. But she does it even publicly. So we're going to watch this show and give a commentary from a biblical perspective and why ubungoma and church just don't mix. That's the thing that I want to really hammer down. Why church and ubungoma don't mix. So for people that are trying to mix, y'all can tell us what y'all are up to over there. It's the Actuality Show, daily Christian commentary videos. From today, we're going to set a schedule, okay? Our schedule for upload is 12 o'clock midday, 3 o'clock afternoon, and 8 o'clock in the evening, okay? Now, for those that I once had Nintendo asking me, how do I set up my setup? So right here, I bought this light on, okay, it's at focus right here. I bought this light on Take a Lot, so it does that. That's how the normal background looks like. It's the news set, right? But with that small little light, it does that. You can go search that. It does this. Okay, so she's mixing dark and dirty muti. Okay, that will do what I'll tell the deceased how to attack or bewitch you. So she's going to the grave to raise a dead spirit back and then kind of go and think. Now, by the way, theologically, that's not sound. You can't do that. No, I mean, like, you can't. That's why I say when people come from these things, they need to learn from the Bible. The Bible, when you look at the scenario of Lazarus and the rich man, you can see the restriction God puts on people's capability when it comes to these things. He says, those that are on the earth, they interact with those that are in the earth. There is a big gulf in between that one who's that side can't go into the other side and stuff like that. So go watch that. Go read that particular story in Luke 15. It will give you a scenario why what she's saying she is doing, she's not doing. Now, what is she doing then? Is she raising a dead person? That's the question that I'm going to ask, but I'll give an answer later on. So there it is right there. She is buying the spirit of a person. Now, by the way, in the early part of this video, she walks into the cemetery, and they are looking for a grave that's unkept, and that's kind of like their thing to say this person they can buy. I find that statement there quite interesting. So even she wouldn't want that spirit going with her, but she would want that spirit to go with another person. Interesting.
It's not only for bad use, it's also mawufuna ukulasha idlozi, ufuna ukuhlambulula. You know, kunabantu abasebenzisa nembuzi emnyama ukuhlambulula amadlozi ekhaya. So people must not always associate black with evil and bad. It's not for this. But also, it does play a role in terms of ukupha idlozi lakho, ukufaka umphefumulo, ukuyihlukumeza ngoba njengoba ihlukumezeka nawe fanele uhlukumezeke.
So a human being's life is reduced to the life of a chicken. This is your culture? No, this is exactly what Solomon was saying on the on black conversations, we need to separate between culture and the other stuff. Because there's the other stuff, which is the diabolical. A person is being taken and put into a chicken. Now, when God was working on creation, He says every being should be after its kind, and so.
Ufanele ukuthi uyakhuluma whether ngikhuluma out loud or ngikhuluma enhlizweni sengiyamnika lo muntu ukuthi na into engikubopha ngayo and njengoba ngikubopha ngifuna ukufaka impilo yakho kule nkukhu.
So she's openly doing witchcraft right on television, but not only is she doing witchcraft right on television, she is displaying it right on television. She's displaying the practice of these traditions. Traditions, let's quote them as put them as so. Is that something's wrong here. Now I'll highlight why biblically, what you are doing biblically. You are raising not the person. You don't have right to do that. You can't do that. Aksuhuye, it's what we call a familiar spirit. It's a spirit. It's demoni. It's a demonic figure. And we say demonic ngoba, it's an angel that fell from heaven. They want to be worshipped, they want to be acknowledged. So what do? They infiltrate the area or the sphere of our knowledge in order to portray themselves as someone else we know. Knowing our high reverence of that person, they will then use that in order for them to portray that character. And when they portray that character, because when you think you're talking to that character, because you are not satisfied with God alone. The Bible says God is spirit, and them that seek Him worship Him in truth and in spirit. You can't behave God and another spirit. Aiko. There is no such a thing. Now they say, though we are not worshiping them, we are honoring them. But you are giving them place in place of God. Because Himimoya, this Mimoya that you are now venerating, you are killing chickens and you're doing whatnot and all these things, this is what we mean when we say you are worshiping them. Because these acts go beyond. They go to the beyond. They are communications to the other side of life. They are going to the spirit world. And that communication is not allowed. You can see it in the story of Lazarus and the rich man. The rich man wanted to talk to those that are living. He is restricted. So that tells you, Uti, by law, okay? You see, the same way your ancestors can't break gravity. Yeah, they can't change the laws of gravity, okay? The same way, it's a law. God has put it that they do not have right to communicate back. Let's be very clear. You are not raising that person. That's the first line of deception. Okay? You are raising something. What is that? It's a familiar spirit. It needs your sacrifice in order to breathe life into it. And so the same way that she's saying, we use the black chicken, it breathes lives into it. Yes, it's a familiar spirit. That's a familiar spirit. It's not the person you claim or you think you are raising. That person you are raising is a familiar spirit that comes back, that has fallen from the earth with intentions to deceive humankind into disobeying God. That's why they come up and they create their own ideas. Does it make... Think about it. Your ancestors who want you to have good will then lead you to doing evil to other people so that you can do the good. You are tying someone. Someone must be your slave. Think about it. The act of this entire thing. Now, these are the very same people that says, no, don't speak evil of the dead. But you are doing evil to the dead. Of course, you are not doing it to them. But within the idea that you are doing evil to the dead by enslaving them to work for you. They say, no, don't speak evil of it. But you are doing worse. As we say, the ones that you are worshiping. I'm not even talking about your ancestors. Your ancestors, good, you knew them, fine. The people that you are communicating with, the beings, let me not say people, the beings that you were communicating with have never been human. And as a result of that, therefore, the people that you are talking to, the beings that you are talking to, never human. They are not your ancestors. They are familiar. They are known as familiar spirits. The Old Testament speaks about them. It says, do not be a communicator with the dead, because yes, the communication is there, but you are not talking to them. If you didn't understand why, you are not talking to them. You are talking to beings that want to be venerated. They will take on any feature. That's why the Bible also says that an angel of light is made to look like, the angel of darkness is made to look like the angel of light. They look like what you know. They come with evil agendas. This is an evil agenda. The very same people, notice, the very same people that will come and tell us, you speak evil of the dead, they are doing evil to the dead. Once, then she puts needles around its neck so that, think about it. Or is thinking restricted? The Bible says, come, let us reason together. This one that we can't reason, I question. Think about it. Why is it that they want to use this type of voodoo to enslave another person, quotation mark? So ungangilandeli, but landela that person that I will send you to. Even she doesn't want that spirit next to her, but she would want it next to another person. Wickedness at its core. That's what you call your culture. Have you ever asked that question? Who are these beings that you're talking to? Who are they really? Doctrinally, we know who they are. But because I'm not doctrinally, enza matanda, it's enza matanda only, that's, you know, in thinking, it's enza matanda. As you tanda, you do. You're not talking to your ancestors. These are some other spirits. You don't want to hear, it's fine. Don't say we didn't tell you. It's the Theology show with daily Christian commentary videos. This spirits, if you study the Old Testament, particularly about the communication with the dead, you read Luke chapter number, is it 15, where Lazarus and the rich man, listen to the conversation between the two. It restricts that your ancestors are communicating with you. It restricts them. It's a law that he has put. He says, no, son, it cannot be. Those that are your brothers back on earth, they have Moses and the prophets. Let them hear them. You are not allowed to communicate back. Whatever good message you have, keep it to yourself. It's of no use. All they have up there or down there, it's either regret or they are waiting judgment. The Bible says it is appointed. Listen to that. It is appointed. It is a law. It is appointed for men to live once, but after that it's judgment. We are done. Simple. Simple. In one line, all these traditional beliefs and whatnot, we are speaking to your ancestors, all of that, it's all crushed. Just like that. Now, if you believe it, it's fine. You can continue on. But are you sure? That's my question. If you are sure, I know. No, you can... Yeah, you know, the Bible says he that is with to let him go, because he that is, you understand. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what verse I'm talking about, ask, don't worry, they'll tell you what verse I'm talking about. He that is, let him be still. He that is, let him be still. Let's be very clear. What you are doing, what you are participating in here, has nothing to do with the ancestors that you think you are participating in. Then question, who did you raise? You raised a spirit that wants to feed your lust of control. That's it. That's who you raised. So that we can fast forward ourselves here. We must fast forward ourselves and get ourselves in check. The spirit you raised, it's not me. You're not capable of doing such. It will take a trumpet to raise me. It will take a trumpet and the voice of the archangel. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You know what is known as eschatology in Christianity. It is a trumpet that will raise the dead, not a human voice. Trumpet, voice of the archangel. This thing that you're going to do something and then put muti, then calm down. It's not such. It's not such. It's deception. It's a pile of deception. The Actuality Show, we do daily Christian commentary videos. On this channel, we don't know. You might believe what you believe. Us, I'm sorry for you. There's nothing to do with us. We're not buying it. Doesn't mean you are not able to do something. You are able to do something, but it is not who you think is involved. But because you love power, that's where you go. Do not say we didn't warn.